You know what, over the years, I would dare say that I've caught thousands of walleyes over these horizontal glide baits. And you know, when it came to trying to make a glide bait or horizontal swim bait even better, we were coming up with a Tikka minnow. Basically what we did is we put a metal lip on here, just gives that lure more swing, and we came out with some wicked color patterns. And so basically a lot of the custom colors that we're seeing out on the Great Lakes, for example, those are a lot of the things that are trending, because basically what we're seeing is a rule of thumb is we're just looking for just overall themes, overall paint finishes that can stand out from a long distance, especially in clear water. And I tell you what, you know, using the larger 7 sizes in Great Lakes waters, places like Lake Winnipeg, or if you're targeting big fish, on a lot of inland water we might be using, you know, smaller sizes like size 5, size 3. But biggest thing is when you're in clear water, you know, these fish can see it from a long way, especially with zebra mussels, and fish might be able to see it from 50, 100 feet away. And so a lot of times when I'm fishing these baits, especially these big baits, I'm just giving them a hard rip and I'm letting them settle, giving them a hard rip and letting them settle. I'm trying to pull fish in from a long ways. And a lot of times when that lure comes back to center, that's when those walleyes will punch it. Now, sometimes the fish gets right on top of you where it's just following and you're just inching it up, almost like rungs on a ladder. You just have to get that fish to keep creeping up, 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 and you're doing just a sharp bounce. When you're working these lures, and you have to do a bounce or a small move to trigger a bite, is make sure that you snap that lure before it settles. Because what happens is that lure will just keep darting in the same direction and it becomes really predictable. The worst thing that you want to have happen when you're using a lure like this is for this lure to dart one way and swing back and then turn, and then as it darts the other way, and if it gets lost, it goes back behind that fish. It's like these fish have blinders on, they can't see behind them, they can't back up very well, they can't turn around very well. And so you need to keep this lure in front of the fish. And so do that. It almost looks and feels more aggressive if you're just sitting there just pounding that lure. But what happens is if you're snapping that lure and snapping again before it settles or turns, because it's becoming a predictable cadence so that fish can just hone in on, lock on, and punch. If that lure comes back towards the fish or disappears, it's game over. And so that's something that you can use to catch a lot more fish with that style of lure.